Hi YouTube, I'm back. I've not made a video in a long time, and I realized that the other day, but basically I'm hoping to get more back into it again, and hopefully I'll be able to. I know that this lighting isn't going to be great today, and I don't have a microphone, so the sound might be weird, but I do have the apartment to myself, so I thought, why not film a get ready with me video? So this is my current stuff that I love. I'm gonna not try and go too much into detail on all these products. So I'll probably do a separate video of products that are my favorite right now, or products that were my favorite last month, since we're getting into a new month now. But for now, I'll just tell you what I put on my face before we get started. Okay, so I used this. I don't know if that's. There we go. So it's the Alpha Hydrox, I guess, Alpha Hydrox foaming face wash. It's like a soap-free, pH-balanced, oil-free cleanser. It removes eye makeup. It's just really good at getting rid of dead skin. Okay. So I did these. These are the Glycolic Nip Fab Glycolic Fix Night Pads Extreme. So those have 5% glycolic acid, salicylic acid, lactic acid, and then it also has ingredients to kind of tone your skin and stuff like that. So I did one of those all over my face and on my neck and a little bit on my décolletage, and then I did my face cream and my serum at the moment. So the NipFab No Needle Fix Serum is awesome. It's a plumping, filling serum. Do that in the day most of the time. Don't do it at night a whole lot. Dang it, I'm so dyslexic with this. So that is my cream that I use twice a day. It's just like a moisture cream. I always recommend putting a moisture cream below whatever you use as a sunscreen, and I use this as my sunscreen at the moment. It's the Triple Performing Facial Emulsion by Benefit. It's SPF 15, oil-free. I like that. I think it's great. It is non-oily, which I like because my skin gets pretty oily throughout the day. In my hair and on my lips. That's the only other two things. So on my lips I put this every morning and every night before I go to bed and before I go in with makeup. It's just like a plumping lip gloss. It's really nice and natural. This one is by Soap and Glory. Really like that. And so I have one in the house and one in the car, just so that I have plenty whenever I need to have some of that. This is two of the pasting creams I've been using for my hair lately. This one is by Towel Dry. It's called the Paste Styler. I love this one. This one I got on a discount from Ulta, and it's a fiber texture cream. This one's awesome too. I don't know why I don't know why they don't have it anymore, but I really like it. So I use this as my leave-in conditioner, and sometimes I put it on top of the paste if my hair's still wet, so that's what I did today. But most of the time I put it on a normal leave-in conditioner where you put it on underneath everything, and then most of the time I'll blow dry. But this is Ypres Replenishing Leave-In Conditioner. Color safe, free of sulfates, parabens, and gluten. I really like this one. I like this brand too. This one is Juice Beauty. It's an organic line that Ulta carries as well. It is called Stem Cellular Instant Eye Lift. These are pads like this. So I'm just gonna put those on. What you do is you take you come with little vials like this, and I'm gonna take the little vial and pour it into here, and that will just be a little eye mask, a little iPad thing. I'm going to wear it while I do my eyeshadow. I usually bake during that time, but I kind of feel like I need a little bit of moisture underneath my eyes today. Just kind of tired. Okay, so let's do it. So I don't know if you can. So that's what they look like when you pull them out. I just pull the thing all the way off, and I usually kind of pour it right in the middle of the pads. That way it just absorbs into them really quickly. It doesn't take long though. And then we'll put those on my under eye and start on eyeshadows for the day. Put these babies on. So they are really saturated in that liquid. So what I usually do is kind of like hold it in my hand for a second, get some of this juicy stuff off of it so it doesn't run all over my face. And then I'll just kind of place it underneath like that. And then I just take my finger and run it along and smooth those juices in. It's still gonna run a little bit. These are kind of messy, is the one thing that's kind of bad about them, is that they're kind of messy. So I'm gonna use this palette on my eyes today. It's the Urban Decay Shadow Box palette, which is, I don't know if it's still on sale at Ulta, but, well, it may or may not be by the time you watch this, but it was really cheap, so I wanted to get it. And it has a lot of their great colors in here that actually most of them they do sell as singles. Okay, so I'm going to use these. I've been using this a lot too. Just got it. It's like $6. It's awesome value, but it's kind of like a dupe. It's the Makeup Revolution. God, I can't even get it in there. Aqua Seal. What it is like a dupe of the Makeup Forever Aqua Seal, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to use it as my eye base to press these shadows into, and then I'm also going to use it a couple drops mixed into my foundation, because that's been amazing at holding on my my foundation lately, and I have very oily skin, so usually anyway. I just kind of like to put it pretty much everywhere, get a good coat in there. It'll just help everything stay around all day. For me, that is important. So I'm going to take the same flat brush. I usually do this technique where I take a flat brush, put on my base with it, or take a fluffy brush for that matter and put on my base with it, and then I'll use the same brush in a shadow to do my lid so that my lid is nice and kind of foiled looking and flat and more pigmented. I'm going to take Sin on this flat brush, kind of really get it on there, like so. I don't know if you guys can see that. So it's like super packed in there. And kind of almost it makes a cream shadow at that point. So I'm just going to take that and pop it in both corners. So I'm just pressing that all over in that inner corner area as well, getting it a little bit on that bottom lash line. There's the lighter color. So now that I have most of the product worked off the brush, I'm going to go ahead with a darker color. Okay, so since I have that tacky base, whenever you have a tacky base, I like to really press the shadows in. So I use a shading brush or a packing brush or whatever you want to call it, like a flat brush. And just really pack it in there so that I can get lots of color payoff for a vibrant color that's going to last a long time. So I'm just really taking the side of this brush and really working in that that mushroom color, that smoky gray silver. It's kind of like, in real life, this camera is so bad I think, but in real life it's really flat looking, it's really pigmented, and it's laying really nicely, and it's starting to blend together. We're going to take a blending brush anyway, so this doesn't have to be like super duper neat. I'm just taking over that silver lightly with a light amount of pressure, just a little bit further. And I like to layer the color until the opacity is the same. So if one side looks a little darker than the other, I just layer more color there. Taking this Urban Decay Basics, and this brush that I used, this is just like a random brush. I don't even know what brand it is. It doesn't have any label or anything like that. A brush is a brush is a brush to me, as long as it works. So this is the Urban Decay Naked Basics brush though, which is a really nice brush. And this one has a fluffy end to it and a more like bottom lash line, like smoky liner or like smoked out sort of brush. I'll just take the lid color Baked Cowboy on the tip of this brush, like so. Just tap it off a little so there's no fallout. And I'm just gonna take that along the edge of this gray color. So I'm taking that little bits of that Baked Cowboy, blending it along the top edge here, and then I'm gonna bring that gray around So let's go into Smog, which is like this color up here, and I believe they sell that separately. It's this one here. It's like a, it's really hard to see on this camera, but it's like a, it's like a goldy brown, and it's in between Lost and Baked Cowboy. So, Lost is this darker brown on the bottom, and then the lighter brown on the top, all the way over here, next to the purple. That one is the one I'm using just on the very tip of the brush, and I'm just going to do the same thing we did with the Baked Cowboy, just a little more focused on the edge now. Using this Tarte black clay pot, so I'm going to start in the center of the eye and just start taking that line in. We could get it nice and thin, precise. Going back to the palette, so I put that Tarte liner on just really thin, just a thin light line. I'm gonna not use this side and flip it around to the other side of the Naked Basics double-ended thing, and we'll I'm gonna put Baked Cowboy at the front of my eye and Mushroom at the edge of my eye. I've been really liking the Brow Tamer, the tinted Brow Tamer in Warm Brown, and the Brow Beater in Warm Brown. So both are Warm Brown by Urban Decay. They're really nice. So what I'm going to do is take this fine little pencil. It's kind of like a Anastasia Brow Wiz, or I think NYX does them now too, where they like have the spoolie and they're finer. So since I put that primer in through them, they're pretty firm at the moment, but what's nice about it is that it doesn't leave flakes, which is good. It's kind of like a pre-brow gel, that little liquid Aqua Seal by Makeup Revolution. It's nice. Okay, so taking that, I'm going to use more pressure towards the back and make a sharper tail for myself. I really don't fill the middle too much because the middle of mine are pretty full. I'm just going to take the spoolie and brush that out just so that we get a nice blend. So let's do primer. Pop exploded. I don't know how it happened. I think I was traveling or something. But it's the Pore Perfecting Urban Decay Complexion Primer Potion. So it's like their primer potions, but for your face. Okay, so this is the Urban Decay Vice brush that it came with. So it's fluffy on one side, kind of a little bit shorter packing brush on the other side. I'm just going to use Sin from that same palette. We've been using the shadow box of the brow bone, just so that we get a nice highlight. Let's get to it. This is Fiona Styles, and this is Fiona Styles. So these are my complexion products. I'm going to use I use the one in the Matte Finish Foundation Concentrate by Fiona Styles, and the White Stone 0102 Invisible Finish Loose Setting Powder. Love this for baking, so I'm going to use that to bake, use this as my foundation. I'm going to mix in a couple drops from my foundation of this guy, which is the Aqua Seal stuff I used on my eye, just so that it's more waterproof and it stays all day. This is a waterproof concealer by NYX that I absolutely am in love with. It's kind of like Bye Bye Under Eye from IT Cosmetics, except for inexpensive, and it also, it's a little bit more tacky too than Bye Bye Under Eye, which I like because that way it holds the powder that I'm going to bake with. And then this has been kind of something I used for a long time, but it's the Matte Finish NYX finishing spray. I'm going to use it before and after. So I'm just going to use 2 pumps of the foundation. Actually, let's use 2.5 today because we're going to mix in that fluid. And that fluid has just been rocking my world. Like, I love it. That Makeup Revolution fluid. So I'm taking that on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to drop 1, 2, that'll be plenty. So once it kind of like, you don't want it to make the foundation too runny. So I kind of just put 2 to 3 drops in there, and then I just mix the foundation in with it. That way it kind of gives it this waterproof. Damp Beauty Blender, I'm going to use this part for mostly foundation and concealer products, and this side mostly for powder. So we're going to leave that clean for most of this. I'm just going to take off whatever's left on my hand onto the flat side, and then really just pounce and stipple. because, oh, I forgot to do this before. I usually do this on top of my primer, but I'm going to just do it now while I'm doing my concealer. It'll help. It's going to help everything stay in place, but while you're blending things, it also helps you blend, and it helps lock everything in. So that gives me a really flawless amount of coverage. I really love the Fiona Styles, and I love that gotcha coverage too. It's awesome stuff. So I'm going to take this White Stone powder, and I like this because it's kind of like the Laura Mercier powder or the La Mer powder. It's just really nice, super finely milled, great for baking. So I'm just going to put that right under where I put the concealer. What I like about this is that it gives a little bit of moisture and it helps everything look flat and set and whoosh. So I like how it looks, but it might not be for you. Just try it out and see. So I really like how the eye turned out now that I have foundation on and stuff like that. I'm going to take a blush brush and I'm going to take, let's do Hoola. And I like Hoola because it's nice and cool toned. I don't know how these tones are all picking up on this camera because the lighting and everything, but I'm just going to use this kind of angled brush by IT Cosmetics, which I love. Super soft, great quality brush. Pick up a little bit from there and tap it off, and then I'm just going to work this. I usually would set the cheek before I do this, but I'm in a rush. So when I'm in a rush, I just work this with a really nice soft brush into the liquids. And since I use that setting liquid in with my foundation, it tends to look really blown out and buffed out anyway. Usually I set it with powder just so that it blends in better, but we don't have time for that today. And then I'm going to go in with this. I think that this is a bronzer. That's what I'm going to tell you guys it is, but they say it is. It's Laura Geller Baked Gelato Lace Illuminator and Ballerina. To me, I mean, I'm really fair, so that might be why, but I have an olive undertone. I have a little bit of color. This is like a bronzer to me. So I'm just going to take it on the same brush and dust it over the areas I put my bronzer. So this is the Becca Pearl Powder Highlighter. The Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed. So I can't even open it. A fool. Okay, so this one's white. It's okay. It really doesn't like rock my world or anything like that. I'm just using the same brush and just using this on top of the areas where I put the bronzer, just so that I can get some light back to my face. And I like the way it glows. It's not like a super heavy glow, which is kind of why I don't know if I really like it. It's because it's like, I always heard, oh, Becca highlighters are like fantastic. But I don't know. What do you think? Add a little bit of the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer over the top, just because I feel like this isn't quite what I was going for. The lighting is so weird. Okay, I'm just going to go in with this X-rated Smashbox mascara. It looks like that. It's kind of like a triangle-shaped... why am I so dyslexic with this thing? It's like triangle-shaped, like, wand. I really like it. It's a fibering mascara they came out with. Inner Room Brightener by Tarte. Or Inner Room Liner, but it's a brightener, so that's what I call it. I've been watching a lot of Jeffree Star, and he always does this, so I'm gonna do that. There we go. Just opens up the eye a little bit, makes you look awake and fresh. Okay, so, and I love this packaging too. Fiona Styles is like one of my favorite new brands, so go out and check it out. It's only at Ulta's, I believe. But I love her packaging because it's cute and also high-end. Feels expensive, but it's not that expensive, and you can put your beauty blender right there, and that's where I keep it. So cute. Let's do NYX finishing spray again. Because I do not want this to move today. And Nick got home, that's why it's loud, so Sorry. Yeah, I'll probably wear some lips today. I'll do a post on my Instagram, which is Violet Bleeding Heart. It's VIOLET, bleeding, like just, it's all normal spelling except for heart is HART instead of HERT or HEART, whatever. This is a new thing that I just got. It's a new launch that's coming to Ulta's, I believe, maybe Sephora's, I'm not really sure. It's the Lip Sculptor by Tarte. It's a lipstick and a lip gloss. One on one end, one on the other. The color's really pretty. I'll probably wear this one today. It stays really, really well. Looks glossy and like full, which I really like. And yeah, so I'll probably wear that today. This is my go into work bag, so I'll just keep that stuff together. And yeah, so let me just take this out. I just trimmed up my hair this morning too when I shaved, so. Alright, this is the finished look. It's metallic and kind of everyday. The metallic part I haven't been doing super often, but definitely the more neutral colors, and I've been using that Urban Decay palette a lot lately, so I wanted to do a video with that. And yeah, hope you guys like it. Subscribe if you like it, and I will see you next time. So, bye.